about to get going. Gotta catch those runners taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Dr. Chad on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Day Trading Live. Today is Friday, May 16th. Stock's a little bit of a gap up. S&P up 10, NASDAQ up 58, Russell up 8, Dow up 67. VIX is contracting. It's down about 2.24% at the freeze. Gold and silver both down about 1.5%. Notes and bonds are green. 10-year yield down 1.41. Oil is up 0.5%. Natural gas up a little over 0.5%. Soybeans and wheat slightly red. Corn is up about 0.5%. Euro is a little bit green. Pound is a little bit red. Bitcoin up about 0.5%. Biggest movers pre-market on individuals. SMCI is up another 4% after that big bounce Wednesday. Had kind of a little pause Thursday, or a little dip yesterday, and then kind of got bought up, and now it's gapping up a little bit today. AMD's up 2.5%. United Healthcare finally getting a little bounce, up 2%. Coin's up 2%. Goog is up 2%. Netflix is up. Tesla's up 1%. Nvidia's up 1%. On the red side, ASML, Meta is down 0.5%. Microsoft a little bit red. As far as sectors go, they're all just pretty small green, except for metals are down. I'm going to do a 6-7 put calendar this morning near the open. And then I will, I'll decide. I may do a couple in power hour as well to hold over the weekend. Good morning, Damien. Who else we got in here? Chuck the Canuck. Krish, good morning. Tops, Pesci, Ren, Seb, Donna, Cap, Joey and his bag of donuts, JR, Abash, Dexter, Moel, Jonathan W., Ken, Tevis, Michael. What's up, everyone? Got about a minute till the bell. No, I don't. It just tends to perform really well on Fridays, entering early. SPX looks like it's got an expected move today of about 33.8. Here comes the opening bell. And looks like about 33.9 is where I'll mark it. NDX about 152.3. VIX is contracting, so no 1-DTE today. S&P dipping below yesterday's high. NASDAQ made a quick pop up to yesterday's high and got rejected. IWM coming down right to yesterday's high and yesterday's close, pretty close together. All right, got filled on my 6/7 put calendar, posting that in the calendar channel. PLTR. It's up about 1%. Yeah, made an initial quick move, kind of pulling back a little bit now. Yeah, Tesla's holding above yesterday's high. A little gap up. It's up 1.2%. S&P coming down to unchanged. Russell just went red. Google and Tesla are looking strongest so far of the big boys. Quite a rebound from Goog after that big drop it had. Well above that drop now. As far as sectors go, yeah, cryptos and are a little bit green. Utilities a little bit green. Tech and chips a little bit red. Yeah, with well, let's take a look at a Rick. They haven't been able, they haven't set up just because of the expected move has been too big. So the upside max profit was less than your profit target, so it just didn't make sense. So let's see. Let's see, on the Rick, the put side is 35 wide, right? Yeah. 20 on the call. Yeah, so it looks like it's trading for about $15. So yeah, your upside max profit is about right at about 30-ish%. So 530 max loss is 1470. So it's getting closer, but I'm not really interested at this point. And you know, or of course you could change the parameters, not that wouldn't follow the back test, but would be a little bit more in line from a risk reward standpoint. Could do it a little more discretionary if you're interested in that. Tesla making a big move up. Google still staying strong. Yeah, Tesla looking good so far. Especially with the market dipping. Yeah, coin a little bounce back. It's up 3% after that big sell-off yesterday. Not sure what to think about that whole SEC investigation thing. All right, S&P coming back down. NASDAQ down to unchanged. Goog dipping a little bit. Goog is also right near pre-market highs. I was keeping my eye on SMCI as it was the biggest gap up pre-market. It's ripping as well. Just going to be a little patient this morning, let things shake out. SMCI may get an upside volume bar. MSTR could get a downside one. Tesla close to an upside one. Got about a little less than a minute. So SMCI is there. Tesla and MSTR are going to get close. Wow, SMCI is ripping. It's up 7%. So Tesla had a little bit of a dip there. All right, Tesla. You want to go, Tesla? Trading the 7-day options. Oh, it's coming down quick. Give it a minute here. Trading the 7-day options on Tesla, I would do the 355 calls, but it's already breaking below, so I'm gonna pass on that. SMCI gave a little bit of a dip, and it's already ripping. Big reversal in Tesla. Goog is still hovering around pre-market highs here. It's pretty strong. S&P and NASDAQ still dipping. SMCI is coming back down now. Market's getting a little heavy. I'd like to see if the market continues to flush and Goog kind of continues to hold. Might get in some Goog. Some Googie calls. Tesla through lows of day. MU is another one. Holding right at pre-market highs. I'm going to go with MU. 98 calls in MU. $98 calls in MU. Trying to get filled. Filled at $1.96. Pre-market high is my line in the sand here. Goog looks like it wants to rip too, if the market can bottom here. Tesla bouncing off yesterday's high. MU pushing back up. I'll put my first profit target at 218 in MU. If it can make a push up through highs. Oh, well, that may be a little aggressive. I might adjust that down. I'll leave it for now.
Order filled. Order filled.
Goog's still holding. MU's through highs of day though, so I picked the better one. Might hit. Come on. Come on. It's trading at about 213. First profit target's at 218. There we go. Hit. Oh, sorry, Krish. I got to leave that system audio on for the intro song, and then sometimes I forget to turn it off. Usually Ken, where you at? You're my reminder for that. You got Chris doing your dirty work now. Yeah, sorry guys. I don't feel bad about telling me to reminding me on that. I try to remember, but all right, I'm going to put another profit target at 232 in MU to shed some more. If we can make another little quick push. Boom, hit. Beautiful. Just like I wrote it up. Yeah, Goog is still pausing. Tesla trying to bounce back. Made a quick flush down to yesterday's lows. Damien, how's your Tesla? Are you green or are you still underwater on that? Depends on where you got in. Nice. Coinbase taking off. Chad, you still in any coin? Hood's taking off. Netflix held above yesterday's high. Pushing. Microsoft weak, Meta weak. Apple a little bit red. Amazon looking weak, going red. Indices starting to bounce. Banks acting weak. PLTR ticked through yesterday's high. Got whack-a-mole. Look at MU go. Pick the right horse today, kids. Usually if I'm trying to choose between two, I usually pick the wrong one. Today I got the right one. I've got 4 lots left in MU. Last exit was at 232. I'll put another profit target at 250 to shed a couple more. SMCI is had another big volume bar. It's kind of pulling back. That green line on my chart is not a pre-market level. That is that's MU hit 250, filled. So I've got 2 lots left. SMCI, I marked that on the daily chart, and that's the high of Wednesday. So it's kind of holding and chopping above Wednesday's high. Goog still paused. I still like Goog to the upside. The indices bounced a little bit, so I would have liked to see Goog go through highs of day on that little bounce off the bottom, and it didn't. So I'm not going to enter, but wouldn't doubt if it still rips. My 6-7. Well, I'm showing on Option Omega it's only up 5 cents. Why are all lines not visible in all charts? Not sure what you mean, Abash. I have the previous day high, low, and close, and then the green lines are pre-market levels that I just manually mark. Oh yeah, well that's yesterday's high. So if it's, of course the low is not going to be visible unless I scrunch it down. That was yesterday's low way down there. PayPal's popping. MU still holding strong. Just going to leave my runner on that one. Watching SMCI here. PLTR rejected at yesterday's high. Coming back down towards lows, pretty choppy. S&P and NASDAQ pretty choppy. Kind of dip below the first 5-minute bar, but back in the first 5-minute bar range. Oh yeah, Goog now dipping. See, that's that relative strength. You know, when the market kind of bottomed temporarily, at least, you'd want to see Goog shoot through highs of day, like MU did. Just didn't. All right, so SMCI is now dipping below that level. Some the indices are just kind of pausing, pulling back a little bit. Coin is still ripping. Let's see, what's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin is pushing through highs. Banks are trying to bounce off the bottom. Still watching SMCI. If I get into SMCI, I would trade the 48 calls. Now it's starting to dip. It's acting like it wants to hold here. PayPal is acting like it's got somewhere to go. Kind of flushed lower. I mean, it's not. It's only up 0.5%, but big bounce. MU, another push up. Beautiful. IWM, big bounce after it went red. Bitcoin, another push up. All right, SMCI, I'm going in 48 calls. Filled at 247. SMCI 48 calls. I'm using that Wednesday high as my kind of my line in the sand there. So I put my profit target at 270. If we can get a push up through highs of day and SMCI, that should hit. Hood's making a move. S&P and NASDAQ bouncing a little bit. Not getting a very good reaction out of SMCI with this bounce, especially with some of these others. You know, look at TSM, nice bounce. Man, MSTR is weak. With Bitcoin strong, coin strong, MSTR is getting crushed. No continuation out of SMCI yet here. Still consolidating. Oh, got some downside. S&P and NASDAQ just dropped a little bit. Do we have some 9 a.m. news? What's going on here? Oh, yeah, we did. Forgot about it. Consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. was looking at Meta, it kind of bounced up to pre-market lows. It was holding below yesterday's lows. I was looking at potentially a short in Meta, and then all of a sudden, pop, quick drop. Tesla, no real recovery there. S&P, NASDAQ still dipping. MU's dip got bought up pretty quickly. Tesla keeps bouncing off yesterday's high. Netflix came back down to yesterday's high, bounced. Goog, still just kind of chopping with inside the first 5-minute range. TSM just kind of keeps dipping and getting bought up a little bit, but just consolidating. S&P dipped into the red, NASDAQ dipped into the red. S&P right back up to yesterday's high. Bitcoin now kind of rolling over. SMCI's kind of dips getting bought up, but pop's getting sold off. Just kind of wicky on both sides in this little chop session. Meta and Microsoft kind of chopping below yesterday's lows. S&P and NASDAQ dipping a little bit. SMCI is dipping. Might have to cut SMCI here. Give it a minute, see if it's going to get bought up again, but otherwise I'm going to cut it. Coin's still holding above yesterday's high, up over 5.5%. Tesla flushed through lows of day. Trying to bounce again. Microsoft trying to bounce. Yeah, so Damien, do you know why I passed on Tesla on the upside volume runner? You remember the rule of an upside volume runner as far as you're managing risk, as far as the exit point? Yeah, so, okay, so if you're looking at my screen, so this second bar, that was the big volume bar, right? The second 5-minute bar. Well, we want to see a little bit of a pullback, or at least I do, to get in, just to kind of get a better entry, to have a lower amount of risk. But the low of that bar is kind of the exit point. So before I even had a chance to even consider putting an order in, it had already flushed below that big volume bar, the price bar that had the big volume. So that's why I did not enter. The price needs to hold above that price bar that had the big volume for it to qualify. All right, SMCI, got about 10 seconds left on this bar. Looks like it's still dipping a little bit. So I've got my finger on the trigger, getting ready to exit SMCI. Yeah, closing it. Filled at $1.95. Well, I think that's it for the live stream here. I don't see anything else I want to jump in. Netflix is holding kind of choppy. Goog is holding choppy. Tesla now pushing through lows again. NVIDIA just kind of choppy. Meta and Microsoft weak and choppy. Coin is holding. You could consider an upside runner in coin using yesterday's high as your line in the sand. Still got a runner in MU left that I'm going to hold for now. Yeah, nice bounce in SMCI right after I closed. So it's back at that level, so could potentially re-enter. We'll see where this bar closes, but otherwise, I'm going to wrap the live stream here. Everyone have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in Power Hour.